Hi there. Today we're going to explore the plot of the 2016 film Me Before You. 2 years ago, William Traynor was rich, handsome, and perfectly healthy. He was dating Alicia, and everything was going well until that unfortunate day. Will was walking to work in the rain and talking on the phone as he crossed the street. Because of this, he did not notice a motorcyclist on the roadway, and an accident occurred that left Will disabled. Most of his body was paralyzed. Louise Clarke, whom friends and family called Lou, was not rich and did not consider herself beautiful, but she was happy. Louise compensated for all the hardships of life with her unbridled optimism. Even when she was fired from the cafe where she had worked for 6 years, Lou did not lose hope. The owner had to let her go because the cafe was closing. She and her sister were the only ones in the family who worked, so they couldn't sit without a paycheck for long. Louise changed several jobs but never stayed anywhere for long. Her boyfriend supported her and advised her to go back to the employment center. Patrick has always been very motivated and loved to play sports. He charged Louise with his optimism, and she went to look for a job at the employment center. She was offered a not-so-popular job to take care of a paralyzed man, and that man was William. His mother, Camilla, conducted the interview. Lou had never cared for the disabled, but she charmed Camille and made it clear that she could handle the job. Lou was accepted. Camilla introduced her to Will, and he decided to scare the newcomer off the doorstep by pretending to have a very severe case of paralysis. However, Louise needed money, and she agreed to start working immediately, especially since Nathan was looking after Will, and she was supposed to encourage William and entertain him. When Lou returned home, she told her family that she had found a job. She didn't know how much Will would be poisoning her life. Nathan brought her up to speed and showed her a folder with patient care guidelines. He also warned her that William can be irritable and doesn't like idle chatter. Will simply sent her to the kitchen and asked her not to interfere. Gradually, they recognized each other. Louise was clumsy and overly positive, and William was always in a gloomy mood. One day, Louise's sister Katrina confided in her that she wanted to quit her job and continue her studies, as Lou was now earning good money. Louise supported her. Soon, Will's best friend Rupert and his ex-girlfriend Alicia came to visit. He had pushed away everyone who was close to him when he got injured, and because of that, Rupert and Alicia had become close and started dating, and they came to tell him about it. Will was upset, but he didn't show it. Louise told Patrick about everything. Her new job didn't bother him too much because Patrick couldn't stop thinking about the upcoming triathlon in Norway. He even invited Louisa with him, presenting it as a romantic trip. After the competition, they would be able to spend time together. When Will once again began to pester Louise, she told him directly how she deserved his affection. He invited her to watch a European movie with subtitles, and she liked it. They began to walk together and talk often. Lou accompanied Will to the hospital for a checkup, and Nathan explained to her that there was no hope for recovery. The spinal cord was damaged, which meant that Will would only get worse. He is already often ill and has an extremely negative attitude, although at first he tried to fight. Despite his work, he and Patrick spent time together. They went to the movies, and Louise invited him to see a movie with subtitles, but he refused because he prefers silly comedies with a primitive plot. When the cold weather started, William fell ill, and Louise had to look after him. His father, Stephen, was away, and Nathan was not around. Lou was very worried about William and called them both. Nathan arrived on time and helped to bring down his fever, after which his condition stabilized. Louise found a video on Will's laptop where he was practicing various extreme sports. Before the injury, he loved life and tried to make it bright and memorable. William woke up and asked Lou to stay with him. To calm him down, Louise even sang a silly song that her father used to sing to her. Then she told him about the B-tights she had been given as a child. She adored them and wished they made them for adults. Spring came and Louise was still staying with Will. He saw her as a bright and unusual girl and wanted her to achieve everything. Louise saw him without a beard and wanted him to shave it off. William allowed her to shave it herself. Soon after, Lou accidentally learned that Will had made an agreement with his parents. He wants to be euthanized in 6 months so as not to burden them with his presence. It hurts him to be in this world, knowing that his best years are behind him. Louise told her sister about it, and she advised her to make those 6 months the happiest of William's life. Lou developed a plan to restore William's will to live, and his parents approved it. They agreed to do whatever it took to keep their son alive. Under the pretext that Nathan had never seen a horse race, Louise suggested that Will go to the racetrack. The trip was not particularly successful, and the horse Louise bet on lost, so everyone returned home in a bad mood. However, Lou was not satisfied. She invited William to a classical music concert, but now it would be just the two of them. Louise put on a beautiful dress, and they had a real date. William didn't even want to go home so that the evening wouldn't end. After a while, Lou said that Patrick and her parents wanted to meet him. They invited him to Louise's birthday party. Her family liked William, but Patrick did not. He gave his girlfriend a questionable pendant, which she was not happy about, but Will's gift made her happy. He bought her striped bee tights. William and Louise became closer and closer. Will even told her about the time he spent in Paris. He wanted to be back at the street cafe table, but he couldn't because he wasn't himself anymore. One day, Lou came home to find out that her father had been hired by William's parents. Her mom and dad decided to celebrate this event. Louise was not very happy, but she had to accept it. Then she received some unpleasant news. A specialist from the euthanasia clinic came to see William. At that moment, she realized that no amount of effort would make William give up his idea. She told Camilla about everything. Alicia and Rupert invited William to their wedding, and he decided to go with Louise. It was painful for him to see his ex-girlfriend and best friend get married, but he accepted it. At the ceremony, Louise drank too much and wanted to dance with Will. He was spinning on the dance floor in his chair, and while they were enjoying each other's company, Louise persuaded him to come out and relax. He and Louise spent the night at the hotel, and when they returned home, Nathan noticed that William was sick. Meanwhile, Lou told Patrick that she had to cancel their trip to Norway to spend time with Will. Patrick was upset, but Lou didn't have time to think about it because she was told that Will was in the hospital. His parents and Nathan were already on duty. He explained to Louise that because of his weak lungs, any infection could undermine William's health. When Camille went home to change, Lou stayed at Will's bedside. He was in serious condition, but he survived. Louise was about to cancel the reservation at the hotel where they were going to go, but then she had an idea. She decided to organize another trip for William. If the doctor allows it, they will take Nathan with them as a safety net. When Lou returned home, Patrick surprised her. He apologized for his behavior. Patrick still thought that Louise was so dedicated to her work because she was appreciated and expected to do a lot. But then he saw Louise's folder where she kept sketches from her and Will's vacation and got angry. He doesn't want his girlfriend to spend time in a tropical paradise with a patient and a doctor. They fight and Patrick leaves. Louise goes on vacation with William and Nathan. They have a carefree time, and Nathan even finds a girlfriend here. When Nathan goes to walk the girl to her room, William and Lou are left alone. The power goes out due to a thunderstorm, and they spend the night together. The next day, Will convinces her to go scuba diving. At first, Louise was afraid, but when she tried it, she was completely delighted. One evening, William confessed to her that he wanted to go for euthanasia, and Louise also admitted that she knew about it. In fact, she thought that after everything that had happened between them, he would change his mind, but Will stood his ground. He doesn't want to live with the realization of how much he can't give Louise. He doesn't want to see the regret in her eyes, and no amount of argument will make him change his mind. He only asks her to be there for him when it happens. After returning from the trip, Louisa quit her job and returned home. As she was leaving the airport, Camille caught up with her, and Lou said she didn't need their money. At that moment, Camilla realized that her son was going to die. When Louisa arrived home, she told her family everything. Her mother forbade her to be present during the euthanasia procedure. She was sure that it was the same as murder. But her father thought differently. When he found out that the trainers were going to the procedure, he talked to his daughter. He realized that Lou regretted refusing to be with Will and suggested that she call him. Perhaps she will still have time to see her beloved before he dies. Louise arrives in Switzerland and finds William. He is happy to see her and even sings her a silly song. They say goodbye and Will does what he came here to do. After his death, Louise receives a letter. In it, Will asks her to live and enjoy every moment, and to give her the opportunity to do so, he leaves her a substantial amount of money. Louise went to Paris to the cafe William had told her about, and of course wore the striped tights he had given her. In this place, Lou felt William's presence even though he was not there. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this recap, give it a like, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.